Okay. So here's the news thing with the news lady talking.
Breaking news for you. The sentencing has come down for the former That 70s Show actor Danny Masterson, who was convicted of raping 2 women back in May. I want to bring in NBC Entertainment reporter Chloe Mulas. Chloe, arguably the most high-profile person since Harvey Weinstein, since the Me Too movement.
Giving a lot. What about?
So we know that he
wasn't there a fucking dude, Roman Polanski? Didn't he get in trouble after Harvey Weinstein? Wasn't he like fucking a whole bunch of like underage boys?
I don't know the timeline on this. I'm not sure.
I might have to bleep all of that out if that isn't true.
Wait, or just put a disclaimer.
Can we just say, well, we're like pretty small. We could probably just say crazy things about people.
Yeah, I mean, if you put a disclaimer on the screen when you say it.
I bet we would make more money from doing something crazy enough to get sued and getting sued and paying out the lawsuit than we would not doing that.
Well, that's always been kind of my logic behind like sampling and music and stuff, because I'm pretty obscure with my samples. So if I ever end up getting legal issues with one of my samples, it's because my song is blowing the fuck up and people are actually noticing it.
Which means no record company will turn down that deal, like unless it's specifically an artist being like, I don't want to be associated with that person. Take my music.
Is very likely,
rare.
But
well, no, that's rare.
I don't know.
Like you would have to have some pretty heinous beliefs for them to not even want to associate with you, I would imagine.
No, I mean, you make even semi-controversial statements in your music, and that's grounds for getting blacklisted by a lot of people nowadays.
I don't know about sampling, though. I don't think that. I think because they're just getting like a check. They don't give a fuck if like they're not endorsing their opinions by taking like a sting from a Guns N' Roses song.
I guess it depends.
Years on count 1, 15 years on count 2. That's 30 years. These sentences will run consecutively. We heard from the victims. They gave impact statements today. His family, his wife, Bijou Phillips, was sitting in the courtroom. We had a reporter in the courtroom. Danny Masterson chose not to speak today. We're waiting for a statement from his attorney on this. And we know that his attorney was arguing today that 30 years would be unjust and that, at the most 15 years and then eventually being released on parole, but that is not the sentence that he was given today. We have heard from Jane Doe's 2 and 3.
I wonder if the judge said anything.
And in a statement, their attorney is saying that these women displayed tremendous
if we can find the court
and bravery
transcript.
by coming forward to law
I doubt it right now, but
and participating
maybe we can
in
come back to this
grueling
and look
criminal
at that.
trials. Now, these allegations from these women, there are
30 years to
alleged
life
rapes that took place
for
over 2 decades ago.
I mean, he's
that,
how old now?
took
Like in his
place
40s,
allegedly at
probably.
Masterson's
How wild
Hollywood
is that?
Hills
That's
home.
fucking
These were women that
justice
were in the
never
Church
happens
of
like that.
Scientology. Danny Masterson
But I
is
think
still
it's
in
like-
the Church of Scientology.
I
These
mean,
women claim, and they claimed in the trial that they
a
were
big part of
silenced
it,
by the
of course, will be, I'm sure a lot of municipalities are tired of Church of Scientology members protecting themselves over crimes.
Yeah,
I'm sure they get tired of that shit, and that's what this is ultimately. Is it's a Church of Scientology member who committed a crime and tried to get away with it, and committed 2 heinous crimes and tried to get away with it through the protection of the Church of Scientology. And we'll have a statement to go over here in a little bit, but yeah, it's just insane.
Yeah, and that's the fucked up thing about these cults.
He's like
the church.
actors
The
are the
church is
Catholic priests of Scientology.
They really are, yeah. Well, and Scientology is the Catholic Church of Hollywood. You know what I mean? Like straight up.
And
like,
it's not even necessarily of Hollywood, but that's exactly of the movie industry. And that's what
that's what I mean by Hollywood.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't technically have to be Hollywood.
Because a lot of their points of power aren't in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like, it's in like Stillwater, Florida is a city that they own, and they fucking I forgot where I was. Oh yeah, L. Ron Hubbard loved movies, and he intentionally wanted actors to be in the church, and he's the one, like he would fucking reach out to actors. So like there's like a long-standing relationship between the Church of Scientology and like trying to pull actors into it, specifically to make movies with actors for the Church of Scientology.
Yeah.
Very strange. He actually like produced movies under the Church of Scientology. I don't know like if they've survived or anything. Probably. He was like a science fiction writer. He's like one of the most prolific writers in history. Like he's written more words than most writers. It's insane. Because he used to do like penny novels and like for like weekly magazines. So he would have to write like a fucking like nonstop in order to do that job. And then he also wrote like Dianetics on top of it. He was a big writer. I'm not sure how good any of it was, but he was a prolific guy.
If the religion of Scientology is any
for a
tell
further statement
on what his
on
stories
this,
were
but
like.
obviously this is something that we have all been watching. And this comes
Unsettling
after an
and
original
weird.
mistrial being, tried once again for these crimes.
That was MSNBC. Woke cuck MSNBC. Cucking us out with news. Okay, so let's go to after this happened, before he was sentenced, but after they found a guilty verdict on his ass, they fucking Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis and Deborah Jo Rump and Kurtwood Smith, whatever his name is, all wrote letters to the judge asking the judge to give him a more lenient sentence.
Yeah. See, and that's what I was seeing people saying, like on social media. A lot of people were like talking about how, because I remember me and you back in the day, when we first learned about Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis's child trafficking operation. I mean, anti-child trafficking operation.
You made that sound. Yeah.
But we were like, that's fucking cool. You know what I mean? We thought that was really dope to see somebody like
which I
high
actually
profile
have some things to say about it now.
Yeah, but like at the time we were like, we see these two high profile Hollywood actors making at least what looks like big moves against this horrible industry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
whose head is that?
I think yours. But that's the impression I've had of Ashton Kutcher ever since he's
like a savior of children.
I feel like that's a little extreme to say
like
that, but
he climbs into their windows.
Yeah,
he protects them from their abusive parents.
He flies down from the sky with a cape and an S on his chest, and he lifts them up by one hand, and he flies to Neverland.
Yeah, I was about to be like, "Is this inappropriate?" I was like, "No, we're going for it. We're doing it." Okay. But yeah, so you had the impression that he was a good guy regarding like sexual crime.
Yeah, I thought he was one of the few people in Hollywood or in these, actor circles in general that was like not only not a rapist, but actually trying to do something about rapists.
Yeah.
And it was like, to me, like, awesome. I'm like, this, fuck yeah. Fucking love this dude.
Yeah. It turns out there was a little bit of information we were missing.
That's what I'm hearing now.
Yeah. So they fucking wrote this fucking letter to the judge. I don't know if it quotes it in here. Yeah, here it is. Oh. That's the wrong person. Teresa Ashton. Chris Atkinson. Melanie Atkinson. William Baldwin. Damn, we're like looking at all these fucking off the grid entertainment. Fucking off the grid entertainment. He's getting like glowing character reviews from his bosses for the rapes he did. real estate investor for a multi-million-dollar company. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, all of these fucking, this is just page after page of people being like, hey, this rapist was nice to me.
Yeah. He's a stand-up guy. He's
Francois
a good role model.
Coaster. Oh, here's Mila Kunis.
Oh, shit.
I am writing this character letter on behalf of my dear friend, Danny Masterson, with whom I had a privilege of sharing a significant part of my life. My name is Mila Kunis, and I am an actress, and I believe it is essential to share the remarkable influence Danny has had on my life and the lives of others. I first met Danny during our time working together on that 70s show. From the very beginning, I could sense his innate goodness and genuine nature. Throughout our time together, Danny has proven to be an amazing friend, confidant, and above all, an outstanding older brother figure to me. His caring nature and ability to offer guidance have been instrumental in my growth both personally and professionally. He has an unwavering commitment to discourage the use of drugs. Woo-wee. So maybe even though he drugged and raped those women, he actually discouraged the use of drugs.
Yeah, so that means
this was just this one time he did it.
That means he doesn't actually mean it. You know, he didn't mean it when he raped them.
It is sad he has kids, but fuck him. Fuck this rapey
it's
guy.
Sad for his kids that their father is a fucking piece of shit rapist
rape people.
Who's going to prison now. Yeah, sad for his kids. Happens to a lot of kids.
Yeah. I wholeheartedly vouch for his tremendous character and exceptional positive influence he has had on me and the people around him. His dedication to leading a drug-free life and to the genuine care. Well, he was leading a drug-free life, but I don't know about the women.
Yeah, I don't know if
let's find Ashton's.
Free if you're still involved with the whole thing.
Oh, Christopher A. Kutcher. My name is Ashton Kutcher, and I'm an actor, investor, philanthropist, and most importantly, a father.
I didn't know his name was Christopher.
Yeah, he's a Chris. We should have known.
Ashton is his middle name.
Yeah, must be. I met him when I was 20 years old in 1998. He instantly became a friend, dedicated coworker, and role model to me, and has remained as such for 25 years. As a friend, Danny has been nothing but a positive influence on me. He's an extraordinarily honest and intentional human being. Over 25 years of relationship, I don't recall him lying to me. He's taught me about being direct and confronting issues in life and relationships head on, resolving them and moving forward. Danny is a person that is consistently there for you when you need him. We've traveled throughout the world together, raised our daughters together, and shared countless family moments. Not only is he a good friend to me, I've witnessed him be a good friend to others and a kind brother to others would be lucky to have. He doesn't like drugs. This one, he also set an extraordinary standard around how you treat other people. There was an incident where we were at a pizza parlor and a belligerent man entered who was berating his girlfriend. He had never met or seen this girl, but Danny was the first person to jump to the defense of this girl. It was an incident he didn't have to get involved in, but proactively chose because the way this man was behaving was not right. Opinions, Bradley?
Does that answer your question?
Okay. We spent hundreds of hours working together. He takes his job seriously. I don't believe he's an ongoing harm to society. That's not how it works, dude. Unfortunately, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
Where's Deborah Jo Rump? Where's Kurtwood Smith, the bad guy from RoboCop?
This is a dude from Malcolm in the Middle, right?
I think so.
Yeah. I heard.
I was wondering about that too.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
I saw somebody mention that he was like a part of Scientology and shit too. I didn't hear much about him like regarding this. Somebody mentioned that in the comments I was reading. That he's like sketchy as fuck too, apparently.
Yeah, fuck both of them. Oh, let's listen to this story. When I was 12 years old, I was playing with a friend after school when Danny heard me ask him if he was sad because his dog had recently died. He pulled me aside and said, "Don't ask people questions about things that make them feel sad unless you know how to help them feel happy again." That comment sums Danny up in a few short words. He was always thought about other people from the angle of, what do they need? And sometimes, more importantly, what do they not need? And when possible, what can I do to help them fix it? Okay. There is a painter in New York named Mike Segato who told me on the day I met him that he has a career specifically because of Danny. He said he was working in the hospitality industry and met Danny at a restaurant. Danny saw a small picture of a painting he had made and inquired about it. Mike went on to describe how his passion was fine art and explained how he had attended 4 years of art college, but had yet to find a way to make a living from it. He said Danny then called a bunch of companies, told them that Mike was a great talent, and asked them to sponsor an art show so that the masses could be exposed to his work. No companies wanted to sponsor an unknown artist, so Danny then offered to host the show and made his living making and was able to lock in 2 sponsors. The show was a great success. Mike sold many of his paintings and was made his living making art ever since. Mike said, "I couldn't believe this guy. I just met, I couldn't believe this guy." Can you do a good New York? Read this
I'm
quote.
horrible with accents.
Do a New York with this accent, no matter how bad it is.
Oh, God. All right. I couldn't believe this guy. I just met doing all this for me. He even flew out on his own dime to host the show and got nothing in return. I'll never forget that.
If you ever got to know Danny in his everyday life, you would quickly realize that there are hundreds of stories like Mike's. On several continents, men and women from all walks of life tell similar stories about life-altering encounters with Danny. Ugh, that word is that sentence is a very good.
Life-altering is not a
yeah. Maybe you
very
should have
specific.
used more positive connotation in your defense of your brother.
Oh man,
fucking Christopher Masterson, same name as fucking Ashton.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
A lot of Christophers in here.
Oh, that's Deborah Masterson, so that's their mom.
Of course, she's gonna say something nice about him.
Jordan Masterson, his fucking other brother. Peter Masterson, who the fuck knows
Probably
who that
his
is?
dad or something.
I am not a Scientologist. My name is Will, and I am Danny's youngest brother. I attend preliminary hearings on both trial. I am not a Scientologist.
That's fucking hilarious. Oh man, got to make that clear because everybody else is a Scientologist.
I've
It's
actually
looking
seen
weird.
3 different people specifically say they're not a Scientologist while scrolling through it here. They were just people I didn't recognize the names of, so I didn't stop.
It's funny. It's
Yeah.
funny.
So yeah, I want to see fucking Deborah Jo Romp or
Who is that?
the grandparents from the same show, the parents from the show, I guess.
Oh,
They
fucking,
both wrote letters too.
Red Foreman and fucking Kitty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they wrote nice things about him too. So what I've heard, I don't know if you've heard this, but I've been seeing memes about this.
Yeah.
I guess Topher Grace is literally the only one who did not write
Yeah,
letters.
that's what I've heard too. I also heard that I guess he was and this is specifically from H3, and it's annoying because I watch H3 and I planned this a whole week ago, and then they do an episode about this today. So it's like, okay, so now
you're the copy.
but they didn't do any of this stuff. They didn't go through all this stuff. So we're doing a much better, more thorough investigation here. And we're only an hour in, and we've done a great episode so far.
We didn't even start right at 8 either. So.
Yeah. So this is Deborah Jo Rump. Okay. My name is Deborah. I'm 72 years old, and I live in the mountains in western Massachusetts. I am writing this letter on behalf of Danny Masterson. I have known Danny and his family since 1998, and when I began working with him on that 70s show, I am aware that Danny is convicted on 2 counts of forcible rape, and though it is hard for me to wrap my head around this, I respect the law and the court. I always have. But I would like to tell you about the young man I know. Danny was the leader of the kids on our show. That's not a red flag. He had the most acting experience. Also, the oldest people in the group of kids on your show were adults. I should be saying that in my voice. The oldest people, fucking Ashton Kutcher was 19.
Yeah,
Some of them were adults.
Well, this is a well-known story too that I've heard for years. Is that, and they've talked openly about this. When they first started the show, Mila Kunis was like 14.
Yeah, and that she allegedly tricked her way to get on the show.
Allegedly, which really how you didn't check this person. You didn't check who they were. You didn't. Literally, the only way they couldn't know how old she was is if they didn't know who the fuck she was.
Yeah,
that doesn't make any fucking sense. They were paying her.
Yeah,
so they knew how old she was.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
And
it's Hollywood. Of course, they're exploiting child labor. Like, what the fuck? Of course, they're doing that.
And she shared her first kiss with Ashton on that show. And they've talked openly about that in interviews.
And we're gonna show that too.
Yeah,
we're nailing this dude today. We're nailing him today.
Because that was the one thing that I always thought was weird, but I didn't think too much into it because I kind of bought the story that she lied, but I don't know how. Like, I didn't really think too much into it. I didn't
think about any of the extent at all, but I'm going to show you something that's going to make you sick to your fucking stomach.
Yeah,
like,
I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay, so back to my old lady voice.
You have to insert the annoying laugh she does somewhere too.
I don't even. I don't even. Talking about? No, I have a very poor memory when it comes to certain things.
It's like one of the running jokes on that show is that she does this annoying, nervous laugh whenever things get like heated.
Yeah, that would, if I knew what to do, I would do that. One of the first things Danny did for them was sit them all down. He had a little meeting and had them all make a pact that no one would do drugs because of the nature of our show. Ha, 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 ha. The spotlight would be on them, and he wanted everyone to succeed. I remember thinking that it was such a smart thing to do, and it was something I never would have thought of. As a result, you never saw them on the tabloids. Danny made sure of that, and I was so appreciative. They all kept their word. Okay. She mentions Wilmer, so we'll talk about that. Wilmer Valderrama, who was 29 years old when he dated Selena Gomez at 17. Keep that in mind.
Which one? Who?
Wilmer Valderrama, Fez.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've heard some fucked up shit about him too. That's not the only one either.
Yeah. Asked the cast of that 70s show to go to his high school graduation. Danny and I were the only ones to go. I remember looking at him and dying. I was outside in the valley really hot, and he was a V alphabetically. We laughed so hard during that. Ha 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 ha. It's a really nice memory.
Actually not bad.
Danny just always showed up to support. Oh, fuck. Oh my God. Hers was rough. That was like disgusting. Like,
yeah, she has a really it sounds like it's hard for her to talk.
I love that the judge got a whole fucking stack of these letters and was like 30 to life. You know, it was like, fuck all of you. Fucking oh, Kurtwood Smith, we found him. You're gonna have to do Kurtwood.
Wait, who's Kurtwood?
I
don't know most of these names.
Red?
Yeah. Oh shit! All right.
My name is Kurtwood Smith. Something like, I don't know.
How does he? He doesn't have like a southern accent.
No.
He has like a.
I'm gonna kick your ass,
dumbass.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
My name is Kurtwood Smith. I've been a professional actor for 57 years. The last 43 years working primarily in film and television. It is an actor that I came to know as Danny Masterson. I should mention that I am aware that Danny has been convicted of 2 counts of forcible rape and is awaiting sentencing. Dumbass. I've known Danny since the spring of 1998 when we began filming the television show That 70s Show. We worked on the show for 8 years, and I consider Danny to be a good friend and a dumbass. Our friendship revolved around work, primarily because of our age difference. We didn't socialize much outside of work, but I saw him in every day on the job, whether we had scenes together or not. I believe Danny to be a wonderful actor. When working together, I always found him to be prepared, inventive, and responsive to suggestions from the director, myself, and other actors. Danny was also very enjoyable to be around. He has a quick wit and a good sense of humor. I always looked forward to working on scenes with Danny. I should mention,
so centered around acting.
yeah, they haven't mentioned anything about his character at all, like these other people have. Well, he's a good guy. He sticks up for women. He gives his little brother good
he's literally
ethical advice.
He is a great actor. We both worked together when we were
I
actors.
enjoyed being around him.
The scenes were very well done. We didn't have to reshoot anything. He was so inventive during the scenes when we were acting.
Like the judge is reading this shit, and this is changing his mind on anything. This is making him feel sympathy for this man at all. I don't understand the point of this letter. Does he start talking about? Okay, maybe he does. Danny was now married and the father of a beautiful little girl. It was a treat to spend some time with him at work and to be around him and his family. I had met his wife while we were still shooting that 70s show, although they were not married at the time. I found Danny treated all women on the show with respect, not only the women in the cast, but women on the crew as well. What about outside of the show, though? Well, that's my question. It was my observation that he treated the woman he married in a respectful and loving way. Later, when we were working on The Ranch, I was aware that not only were they a happy couple, but he was a wonderful father to his daughter.
Oh, okay, we're done.
Yeah, this is
he
mentioned like one thing about his character and then started going on about acting again.
Yeah. And he's literally like relating it all to the shows that they work on. Yeah. Very strange. It's almost like he like didn't quite see. That's like
he didn't quite understand the point of this.
Well, yeah, and that's
he was like asked to write a letter. Like one of the other cast members came to him and like, hey, we're all writing letters to the judge for Danny. Will you write a letter too? And he's like,
it's like he really didn't want to commit to it and had never talked to him outside of work and didn't actually know him at all.
He's just like, all right, fine, I'll write a letter, I guess. This is what he came up with.
I didn't make any changes, but yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, pretty wild.
Yeah, so
I've noticed when it does that,
if I just press
click,
enter,
yeah. I always put space and backspace. That works too. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so before we go into this next one, that shit was insane.
Yeah.
And that last part can't even be true because of the next thing we're about to watch, because it's explicitly both Mila and Ashton saying that Danny was involved in what I would consider fucking like sexual grooming of a minor. Like we're gonna look at this and we might make a go from there, but this is like okay, so here's the thing.
And she was 14 when we started the show. I was like 19, right?
Right.
And they're like, okay, you guys are going to be making out in this scene. And I'm like thinking like, wait, this is like slightly illegal,
that's
right?
probably your first kiss ever, right?
It was my first kiss. Why someone bet you made with Danny about our first kiss?
No, it wasn't the first kiss. It was like the second or third kiss.
It was the first. It was like the first week.
No, it was not the first week.
Whatever. Let me tell you what happened.
No, let me tell you what happened.
No. Okay, so I've never kissed a guy. So I was so. I mean, you know, Ash was attractive, and I was a 14-year-old little girl, and I was extremely scared for my life.
Sure.
And he was very nice about it. He was like, "Oh, don't worry." So I was like, "Okay." Then Danny goes to him and goes, "Dude, I'll give you $10 if you French kiss her." What would you stick your tongue in my mouth or some?
What? No.
For $10.
You're making it sound like it was like really. Okay, Dan, we had a little side bet going.
Yeah.
Like,
I love the fucking like. No, you're making it sound like.
Kissing on the show, we're boyfriend and
Well,
girlfriend.
this dumbass, she starts to try to cover for him,
It
and
depends
he's
what kind of an actor you are, I guess.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah.
So Danny bets me like $20 that I wouldn't do it. And of course I'm like, yeah, sure, what's the deal? You know?
And then the cops showed up and you got arrested pretty much.
They
But
should have,
he
but they
never
didn't.
did it. And
I
he
so did.
He claims to this day he did that. I swear.
Oh, man.
So did it.
He never
Fuck.
did it.
I
So
didn't let
did
him.
it.
I think he tried, but I think
Fucking-
he got himself so
Yeah, yeah. You did the old teeth block?
Yes,
Yeah, you didn't let him
do the teeth block. You were like, oh, you're like,
Yes, he never got his
You were
tongue
very
out.
Oh, no, you didn't, Ashton. Just admit it.
She
Dad,
didn't
I
come
swear.
back.
She's 14. She did it. You stop it.
She would know that was not the first. You had turned 15 by then.
No, she was 12, but I know it.
There's a big difference.
And
That
then,
one
like,
year makes
the
the whole
joke-
Yeah, it's like the joke. The whole bit
The whole
was
joke just gets worse and worse. Like,
yeah, it's fucking
like lowering
hard.
the age, like for no reason.
Yeah, that's Rosie O'Donnell.
I know. Like,
I didn't know she was a talk show host.
me neither. I didn't know she had a show.
I guess we're just too Zoomer to know that. Like
I just don't watch bullshit television, man. Like I don't.
that's
like,
old. That's before our time. We were like kids when.
Well,
that
yeah,
came
but
out.
I mean, like if I was like somebody who sat around watching talk shows, I might know that existed. Is what I'm saying. But I don't even watch that.
I
kind
think
of
that
shit.
show was long canceled before we started like
probably
being interested
Yeah, I
in
guess.
television.
Yeah, true. Yeah. But yeah, that was
Yeah.
pretty disgusting.
Yeah. And it's like I
it's like
think
they all acknowledge how fucked up it is as they're joking about it.
yeah. And it's like these
Like-
two people need to be separated. These two people should not be in the same room together after this.
Yeah, well, and
This
like
is inappropriate. This is like y'all need to be
it's obvious, like, you know how you hear stories about like women who were like groomed and they don't realize it until like later in adulthood,
later
like
in
what happened.
life.
Like
yeah.
this might be their husband or something, and they don't realize until way later like how that actually worked.
Yeah, exactly.
And this seems like one of those cases where she never came to that realization. But that, you know what I mean? This seems like
Yeah.
one of those cases where she should have been one of those women that later on was like, wait a minute, that was kind of fucked up.
yeah.
Because I mean, it's even the same as like, I feel similarly when I think back to when we were kids and we were hanging out with like adults who would like give us alcohol and smoke weed
Exactly.
with us and shit.
Oh my
And I
God.
think back, like, it seemed so normal back then. And I look back and I'm like, that was really weird, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Like, that was
Yeah.
really fucking weird. This
Yeah.
fucking 23-year-old guy
Yeah.
hanging out with a bunch of
Oh,
12-year-olds.
I view Juggalo Jay so much different now that I'm
Yeah.
an adult.
And I remember Preston calling him a chomo as a joke, and he got so offended. He was like, don't you ever fucking call me that. And we all just kind of like, you know, like fucking stupid kids
Yeah.
just laugh about it.
Yeah.
Now I look back, I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
We're not alleging anything. We don't want
No,
to get
I just
sued.
think
but nobody knows who that
I've
is.
posted this publicly. Anybody who like is still friends with me on
No,
social media
I
who
was-
was one of those
that was me,
people,
kid.
like, yeah, I feel very weird about you now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
any of those people who hung out with me when you were my age now and I was a kid, yeah, I feel very weird.
Yeah,
about
I don't
you.
know. Y'all should have been sending me back to my peers.
Yeah, you should have been like, yo, this is weird.
This is
Go
how
home.
you socialize with other kids. Now go to those kids. Have
Yeah.
fun with them.
Yeah,
Don't talk to me.
yeah.
I'm busy. I'm
But anyway,
busy being an adult.
That's how I feel similarly. That's my experience as
Yeah.
a kid. And I feel like it's a similar issue.
Exactly.
But this is a little worse,
And-
obviously, but
See, and this peaks into the ultimate point because the point here is that the ultimate enabler of sexual violence is when you're quick to forgive the people who are close to you because they're close to you. Period. Because that is also the biggest source of like child sexual abuse is always like family, close people in like positions of authority to the child. And it's like it's exactly this type of attitude that excuses these types of people in their behavior at the time and allows them to commit more crimes. You know, same reason why priests get moved, same reason why dads don't get the cops called on them for molesting their children, or why a community might cover something like that up. Same reason for why they would do that for siblings, because that's another like the highest fucking numbers is uncles, brothers, and siblings. I mean, uncles, dads, and brothers, you know, like those are the
Yeah.
two people most likely to rape you. You know,
Well, because think about it, if somebody like that, who is the first person they're going to go after? Somebody they have access to.
exactly.
So that, I mean, statistically, that's how it's going to happen most of the time. It's going to be within the family.
Yeah. And these families, a lot of these families, not all of them, but a lot of them, they'll work to cover up one of these crimes before they'll ever work to hit them, you know, to actually convict them. Like, it's really fucking sad. Like a lot of, like I've heard too many stories of like mothers not believing their daughters.
Well, yeah, a lot of the time, it's straight up denial. That's what happened in my family. You know, there was a child molester in my family when I was young, and the victims came to his wife, and she didn't believe them the first time.
Yeah, which that's like
it's horrible, and she has to live with that now. And I know she feels awful about that. I know she does. Well, but like
it's because of a lack of education.
Yeah,
and that's what like I find very interesting about someone like Ashton Kutcher, who is someone who is against child trafficking, but someone who doesn't respect at all the concept of someone who is close to you being a sexual predator, you know?
Yeah.
And like it also speaks to his organization's goal. So when I looked up the actual organization that he created with his ex-wife, who's like 15 years older than him, which is a little weird, but the fuck ever. But this organization is specifically meant to go after child trafficking, specifically through online means, and they develop technology to catch child traffickers who work online and to take down like child sexual abuse material.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the goal of the organization. And that is even though it's awful and heinous, the CSA is the CSAM is a little bit different. That shit, like, it's good that they do that. Like, they develop stuff that's supposed to like automatically detect stuff without having to have people looking through CSAM. But the other aspect is focusing on like cross-border child trafficking, because that is like the smallest. Of course, it's a problem, but it's interesting to see that his focus is on like the smallest, most popular concept of child abuse, while he doesn't care about nor respect or understand apparently the concept of like direct interpersonal abuse, you know, like what they did to Mila Kunis.
Yeah.
You know,